Nobody now support the kids them like me right now. We no kill youth, we a build youth. Big old man a man a uno me attack too. We a build youth, no we no kill youth. Big man a woman a uno me attack too. Send the youth them go a school, make them learn, set them brain at the real goal. Then too, not the one where man a pushing on your hand and tell if you kill a mix man. My G that the wrong. Ooh, that me know I'm not maker, that me know for sure. Everything where me reap so far I me grow. On the league board, me up the top score. I'm a non-stop right, yeah, something I go give them more. Hey, hey, what we say?
Girl Links here, and welcome to Come Make We Chat. And you don't know, we're gonna talk about the things them that nobody wants to talk about. Come make we chat. Come make we talk. Come make we chat.
Come and put chat. And the real thing that they think this a flop. Madlinqz, I don't know what you know what genus. Tina's finest represented for this one. Girl, I wanna love you.
Warrior energy. Warrior nation, yeah. Wagwan family, Wagwan family. Welcome back to Come Make We Chat. And as you know, first of all, let me big up our north side, south side, east side, west side, GN Street, Western Road, St. Clair, or Western Road, DuPont, Lansdowne, Scarborough. Big up the whole of Toronto City here, family. Give me 1 second. I seem to have a little bit of problems here. Just a moment. Always seems to be giving me trouble. Just give me a second while I get my thing here loaded. Okay. Let's edit this here. Just 1 moment, please. Yes, family. Wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. Bless up everybody tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Um, Anybody tuning in on Instagram? If we're able to get the Instagram up and running, it always seems to be giving some kind of problem here. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay. Nevertheless, let's not worry about Instagram. So, how have you all been out there? How are you doing? How is things? How is life? What it do? What it is, family? Wagwan. As you know, um, things have been pretty much the same here in the six. We're still in lockdown in T dot. We're still under, in my opinion, martial law in Canada, Toronto, namely. What is going on? Well, the weather has finally changed, right? The weather has gotten better. Everybody's outside. Um, People are starting up their barbecue grills. And, as usual in the six, the guns are out and blazing. And you ask me, what do I mean by that? And I'm going to pull up this little clip here from CP24 and let y'all know kind of what I'm talking about. So, um, as usual with the heat, so comes the madness. And listen to this.
Man and a teenage girl are in hospital after a double shooting near Davenport and Old Weston Road. Police received a call for gunshots, I should say, at around 11 last night in front of Pelham Park Gardens. Witnesses report hearing 4 to 5 shots. When officers got there, they found the pair with gunshot wounds. So this is the scene when the female victim arrived at Sunnybrook Hospital. The injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Police say the victims are a 17-year-old girl and 19-year-old man. They were together when they were shot.
17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old man. And here's another one.
I was just coming to go get my laundry.
This is coming from CBC News.
And all I heard gunshots, so I run for my life.
A sunny Sunday afternoon marred by gun violence. 4 men shot, 1 pronounced dead while children played nearby.
We have kids and we could be sitting out there and, so it's really scary. It's really scary. In a broad daylight.
It happened here in this roundabout around 2 in the afternoon. 2 vehicles were parked here, including this Mercedes and a Toyota outside number 22. And a dark-colored sedan pulled up and opened fire. At least 3 other vehicles were hit, and bullets hit this building, too. The Toyota took off, stopping up the road. The people inside tried to run away but collapsed. Police found 2 other victims in the Mercedes. 3 men are now in hospital, 1 still fighting for his life.
There are, I'm going to say, dozens of shell casings up there. One officer estimated at maybe close to 100.
1 dead, 3 others injured. And this one hails from 680 News. 1 person has been injured following a shooting in a Scarborough neighborhood. Police were called to Pharmacy Avenue and Dewey Drive at around 1:36 p.m. for reports that a person had been shot. Eyewitness report says a man was seen chasing another person at the time of the incident. Officers found a victim at the scene and he was transported to a trauma center with what was initially described as non-life-threatening injuries. However, his condition was later downgraded to critical. Police are searching for a suspect who fled the scene. No description has been made available at this time. See, for me, all of this stuff kind of hits differently. To me, it shows a lack of unity. A lot of these kids are fighting for colors, for blocks that they don't own. That it is impossible to control because they don't own it. As far as colors, this red, blue, whatever, that's an American thing. That's not a Canadian thing. Some of the youth have embraced this like a Canadian thing, but it's not a Canadian thing. It's an American thing. Canada's biggest issue has always been racism, has always been the segregation of minorities through institutionalization, policy, legislature, and employment. It has never been about blocks and colors. And I'm sorry, but in this so-called block war, we're losing. We're losing fathers, we're losing sons, we're losing daughters, we're losing generations. And for what? For what we don't own. For the opportunity to have ratings. Be the big man on campus, big man in the neighborhood, which you don't own. Which it's not. This is what bothers me. Is this small-minded mentality? We control this neighborhood, but we don't own it, and we don't make any money in it. We only terrorize it. How does that make our community any better? How does that build us? How does that strengthen us, our people, our nation? All of that energy, all of that creativity put towards destroying your own community. How does that better you? Because in the end, it's not just the people that are shooting or that are being shot, I should say, that are being destroyed. The people that are shooting are being destroyed as well in different ways. And it doesn't seem like things are getting better. It seems like they're getting worse as the generations go by. Shout outs to everybody chilling out in the Facebook rooms. Thank you very much for that comment. We are out here talking about the stuff that nobody wants to talk about. That's why we call it Come Make We Chat, because we want to talk about the things that nobody's talking about. And quite frankly, this is one of the biggest things that I find to be a problem here in Canada. The lack of unity among our people. Among people, period. But especially among Afro people. Because different Caribbean islands don't like other Caribbean islands. Different African nations don't like different African nations. And everybody dislikes Western American Africans. That's what you refer to yourself as. So this level of estrangement or this disassociation from ourselves is a big part of the problem. Why we find ourselves everywhere in the world but nowhere in the financial market. We are such a nation of stubborn people. We stubborn. We don't take certain things. You know, we don't take this, we don't take that, we don't take this, and when I say we're the kind of people where we'll go to a West Indian restaurant and expect everything to be perfect. And maybe we get something wrong. Maybe the waitress has an attitude. We're not going back there because of those people. Those people are too whatever. But we will go to a French restaurant or an Italian restaurant, be served cold food from a disrespectful waitress and be like, oh my goodness, it's 5-star. I mean, the waitress, she was so hobnob. I can't wait to go back. And totally not enjoy your meal. That's a real rough way to be. So easy to outcast your own, but so accepting of others. So easy to dismiss yourself or your own, but so accepting of strangers. I don't know. I think we need to get back to the place of love, of brotherhood. Wagwan, brother, my brother. Love my brother. And actually mean it. Not like, oh, my brother or bro, God. No. Like when you say brother, mean brother with that love and compassion and empathy and heart that seems to be missing. It seems so easy to say, I want to shoot him down, I want to kill him, than to say, I have love for him, I love him, show him kindness. I've even come across brothers that when you call them brother, they tell you, I'm not your brother. I'm not your brother. We're not related. Get out of here with that. What happened? Where did this energy come from? This energy of hate, disgust for your own brother. King and queen status. Love, peace, and hair grease. Peace and soul. Love, sound, power. What happened to that? These are the things that we need to get back to. Fighting for colors and blocks, and you don't own them. At least in other countries, when they fighting for something, they own it. And they fighting to keep it what they own. They're not fighting to patrol and terrorize the community. Yeah, man, family. So we're going to move along. And up next, the COVID update. And you know they saying the same crap they've been saying from the beginning. We're going to release you soon. We're going to open the place soon. Here we are still. Almost 2 years later. Is it 2 years? 2 years later, I'd say. I don't know. I feel like I've been, yeah, too long. Anyway, according to COVID update today on Microsoft Bing, because I guess Needed to switch from Google. Worldwide, there has been 163,651,670 cases of COVID worldwide. And in case you're wondering, I'm starting from the bottom up, where you see starting from the bottom up. I don't know, maybe I'm Chinese. I like to read backwards. Of those 163,651,670 cases of COVID, 3,390,491 people have died. Which means 160,200,000 and odd thousand people are recovering or recovered. They're not giving the number, so I can't tell you. In Canada, 1,337,724 people have caught COVID. Of that, 25,016 people have died. 1,247,826 have recovered. The rest are either recovering or in recovery. Recovering, in recovery, or dying, I guess. I don't know. However, considering that we are so far into this plan, Lyrus, those numbers don't seem to scare me. I mean, if it was 1 million confirmed and maybe 500,000 deaths or 700,000 deaths or even 100,000 deaths, I don't know. I would be afraid. But when I see that the number of deaths is way less than the number of people that caught it, I start thinking to myself, who's dying? Is it healthy people? Elderly people? Unhealthy people? Who's dying from this? A lot of the cases that I've heard of regarding COVID has always been someone in an old folks' home or somebody that works in the medical field, frontline workers, or somebody that works in a place where you're around frontline workers or you're around people with COVID. I've never, and I'm not trying to be insensitive about this, but I'm rationalizing the information that I'm seeing. I've never seen someone who was healthy, functional, fine, die from COVID. Either they already had trouble breathing or respiratory issues or were severely overweight, or they were elderly and their immune system was already at a heightened state of weakness where they weren't able to fight off a common cold, much less a flu. Or they were a frontline worker. So I don't know. What I do know is this. When I search, is the COVID vaccine FDA approved? Maybe I should do that a little bit better. Is the COVID vaccination FDA approved? What comes up is, and this is funny, this is what comes up. What full FDA approval could mean for COVID vaccines? And what's the second one? What it means if the FDA grants full approval. And then it comes on to say, U.S. to send at least 20 million FDA approved coronavirus vaccines abroad. And then coming down, it says, no, the COVID-19 vaccines haven't received FDA approval yet. And then as I scroll down more, Pfizer asks US FDA for full approval of COVID-19 vaccine. And then, as I mentioned to you all last week, FDA received approval last week for use in 12 to 15-year-olds. So family, I want you to understand something here. And I want to look at you when I say that. I want you to understand something here. I want you to understand that the vaccine that you are taking has not been approved by the governing body that approves our vaccines. Can I get an amen? If anybody can hear me out there. The Federal or the Food and Drug Administration has not approved the COVID-19 vaccines. The only one that's been approved is the one for Pfizer, as you see here. Okay? And it's only been approved for 12 to 15-year-olds. Now I want you to let that marinate a little bit. And then ask yourself, why? Why is the government all over the world trying to get people to take this vaccine that hasn't been approved? Why? What is the significance? What is the reason for this vaccine? Because we all know that naturally, if you catch a flu and you fight it off, you now have the ability to fight that strain. You have developed the antibodies to fight that strain. So then why? If there is a potential that you are exposed to COVID, would you need to take a vaccine to prevent yourself from catching it? If we all know that once you catch it and pass it, that you've now become immune to it. Naturally, that's what the body does. Unless the body now functions in some way that has changed from the past 1,000 million since the beginning of time. The body doesn't operate that way anymore. And why? Again, I ask, because I ask this all the time. If I'm a healthy person, do I need to take this vaccine and make myself sick? A healthy person is not a threat. A sick person is a threat. And if I've been exposed already, which I believe we all have, before the actual onset of this virus, if I've been exposed already, then what is the purpose? What is the use? What is the need for me to take this vaccine? Yes, family. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Big up Miss Karen Delight chilling in the building. And for those of you tuning in on Twitch, no, I'm not buying followers. I will block you. I'm not trying to get famous. I got a message. I got a message to spread, buddy. Or lady. Whichever you be. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for shares. And I'm not here for fame. There's a message. So yeah. You don't know, family. We there have to talk the thing them when nobody no want to talk about, man. I mean say who that, I mean that I represent the T that. Mad Rasta. Bless up, I'll see you on Thursday. One love.
Nobody now support the kids them like me right now. We no kill youth, we are build youth. Big old man uno me attack too. We are build youth, no we no kill youth. Big man uno me attack too. Send the youth them go to school, make them learn, set them brain at the real world then too. Not the one where man a pushing on your hand and tell if you kill a next man, my G that the wrong. Ooh, that me know I'm not me, cause that me know for sure. Everything where me reap so far, I me grow. On the league board, me up the top score. I'ma not stop right, yeah, something I go give them more. Hey, hey, what we say?
Girlings here, and welcome to Come Make We Chat. And you don't know, we're gonna talk about the things them that nobody wants to talk about. Come make we chat. Come make we talk. Come make we chat.
Come make we chat. And the real thing that you think this a flop? Madlinqz, I don't know what you know what genus. Tina's finest represented for this one. Girl, I wanna love you.
Warrior energy. Warrior nation, yeah.